believe.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the primary things too that you must consider, the most important to me, is that you commit your way under the Lord, and the Spirit will enable you to be able to ask the right question and give the right answer. I feel like the answers people give are not necessarily the answers that we anticipate. But if we do have an opportunity by God's Spirit and knowledge of the Scripture, He can sow a word.
Yes. Yes. I think that
The Spirit's enabling online. You can be excellent, rhetoric, eloquent. You can talk under cement.
and that's true, and I think that praying before for hearts that are open for us to meet people who do have hearts that are open to the gospel and can open a conversation with them. Yeah, and of course on the other side we have people who in different cultures who will give you the answer they think that you want, and may not be really quite. They're wanting to please you. Any other question?
What festivals do you celebrate? What's that festival about?
Why?
Yeah, why or what? Yeah. What does the festival mean?
Do you have any special words of wisdom, like saying?
What are your, or do you have, etc.
Yeah, that's great. Do you play? You too. Super.
And
who too?
And who too?
What about?
Who too?
Why?
What about? Good. Okay, 25 past.
Right. So I think with all these, we also must remember that thing right at the beginning about culture, that what we're really looking at is trying to actually get some understanding of how they think, what they believe, what they do, so that then we've got a way into bringing the gospel to them. But it's enriching to us just to let them tell the story, because then if they're prepared to tell their story to us and trust us, then they will then we have opportunities to share with them. So building trust means that we have to accept what they tell us without criticising it. We do that first. And often just telling stories and telling what we believe will get them thinking. So if we go back on to things.
Some of the, of course, one of the good resources is Luke's Gospel, which is the Jesus film, and that's available on this website in almost any language. It's just there. You can just dial it up on your online and watch the complete Jesus film without any cost. Just share that with someone, and there's the pile of languages it's in. It's just endless. So they've done a great job in just making that available. The other thing, of course, is to get literature, Christian literature, in their language. That can help to promote conversation, of course, too. And the other thing is once you do actually have someone whose heart is just responding to want to know more, and your language and their language just don't gel, that's the good time to find someone who can share in their language. You can tell them at least.
We know of an example where some missionaries in the Middle East, they had befriended this person and he was receptive to the gospel. In 6 months, they were slowly getting him to understand more of the gospel. But they had a friend come over from another Middle Eastern country who was a Christian, a believer. This fellow walked into the room and suddenly...
He spoke the language.
He spoke the language, or a slightly different version of it, because it was all Arabic. And suddenly, the fellow that this guy had been working with for 6 months, he lit up. And in a matter of hours, the fellow, the near culture believer, was able to communicate and share in a way that this other fellow was able to respond to quickly. So just because being able to share in their heart language, the language in which they think and have understood since they were a child, their emotions, their feelings and their real things, it's often going to be easiest if we've got someone who can do that for us. And that fellow, the man that he'd been working with for 6 months, became a believer in a matter of hours after that. So just having someone who can share in their heart language, that's something that also we're hoping to do with another person that thinks, but we just haven't had the opportunity to set that up yet. So, but that's something that is a valuable thing to be able to do.
I'm sure there'll be other resources in books. I don't know if Alan has any here today or not, but there are other resources in books. Yeah, that's our story. And so, go on.
So I think you need to look at your own real life situations. We happen to have this connection with some Nepalis, but also some others. We have an Egyptian lady coming to our Bible study group, and I think we are the first home that she went into, first non-Egyptian home that she went into. She's only been in the country 25 years. And she's a believer, her family are believers. So it's not, you know, they go to church, but they never had been invited into an Australian's home. So that was another thing. So in the next few days, when you meet your international friend, you know, what situations come up naturally? Think about the situations that come up naturally when you meet friends. You do that with your own friends. Think about it also with friends from other cultures. Because one of the things that's a very useful trick, useful way of being able to talk to them is just to tell a Bible story that may have some bearing on the situations that come up. So think about those things. Think about ways in which you can just tell a Bible story. You're not trying to preach the 2 ways to live every time you meet them. You just develop the friendship, tell the stories that are part of your life, your understanding. They won't know Noah, they won't know the Tower of Babel, they won't know David and Goliath, because that's actually often a good one when you're considering challenges. They won't know any of the stories of Jesus or the parables. They won't know Acts. They won't know those stories. And hearing stories and telling stories is a big part of particularly Asian cultures. They love hearing them, and they learn from them in ways that perhaps sometimes we get a surprise. So we just encourage you to think about what you do every day, about the people that you come in contact with. And one of the things I've found is that particularly with students or migrants, they are very, very happy to talk to you because we're taking an interest in them, and that then makes them valuable. So they often don't get that interest taken in them, and then they're left alone. So it is really something that we can do, we can share with them, and we get the opportunity to allow God to use us for his purposes.
Thanks for the time. Thank you.